Today let's talk about something different, a different form of art. I spoke about the paintings that were found from the caves and how it evolved. Then I spoke a little bit about music and how music connected with art and the human being evolved from thousands of years ago. Today I want to talk a little bit about clothes or clothing, or today what we know as fashion. Where did it start from? Fashion started, clothes rather, started way back then as well. To understand clothing a little bit and how it's related to art, we can go back to the beginning when the human being evolved from the apes. Now we know the apes had kind of a fur and they had a thick skin. And as it evolved into the human form, into the Homo sapien, the skin got thinner and more finer. And the need to protect themselves from the harsher climates like the cold or the intense heat, that need created a kind of a protective layer, and they found it in the form of clothing. But obviously there was no fabric at that time. How did they create the protective layer? The animals that they would hunt, they would use the meat to eat, and they cured the leather in such a way that they would cover themselves. Obviously they didn't have the proper cuts and layers to give them shape, but they covered themselves in such a form that not only did it protect them from the harsher climates, but also it did kind of differentiate. If you look, the men wore different kind of clothing and the women were different. So how does that form as part of art? I think along with the clothing, the garments that they wore, the women would decorate it a little bit with frills and maybe put a few designs or a few dots or something decorated with the pigments that they created to use in the form of art on the caves and artifacts. So again, the art, the creative part of the mind, worked along with creating art. They used the artistic form not only in music, in clothing, and it evolved more and more. The clothes, the kind of clothes that they wore changed and became more fashionable, I would say. They figured out the jewelry that they discovered from the artifacts, the ivory that they made along with the clothes, and they put it all together. So that's a beautiful evolution of the human being, I feel. So let's see where this journey goes next. And thank you for staying tuned with me.